imagine mastering a piece of technology that powers like an astonishing portion of the entire internet. I mean, we are talking millions of businesses, billions of dollars in commerce.
Oh, yeah. Massive scale.
Right. And depending on which tracker you're looking at, sources like W3 Techs, they cluster the market share right around 42%.
Yeah, and some others even inch slightly higher, like putting its footprint roughly between 42% and 43% of all websites globally.
Exactly. It's huge, and it's growing every single day. But here's the crazy part. If you take this exact technology, put it at the absolute top of your resume and, apply to a modern tech company tomorrow.
It might actually hurt your chances of getting hired.
Yeah, it could actively hurt you. And welcome to the deep dive.
It's just the ultimate muddy water we're swimming in today. I mean, if you zoom in just slightly on those numbers, right, and look only at sites that use a known content management system.
The CMS market specifically.
Right. That market share skyrockets even further. We're talking high 50s to like low 60s%.
It's wild.
It is. Yet the paradox you just laid out is completely real.
So our mission today is to really answer what should be a straightforward question for you, especially if you're a developer navigating this landscape in 2026. Like, is WordPress still relevant?
Right. The big question.
Exactly. So we've pulled together market share data, we've looked at platform release notes, and, real-world developer career trajectories to try and figure this out.
Because the central tension we're exploring here is how a platform can simultaneously grow in this massive macro market share, while at the exact same time decisively losing its relevance for developers who are actually building new things.
Yeah, losing relevance for the actual coders. And we need to unpack why this market shift matters to you right now.
Absolutely, because of the sheer gravity of where the industry is heading.
Yeah.
And if over 40% of the entire web runs on one specific platform, understanding where the actual developer jobs are going within that ecosystem is, well, it's crucial for your career stability.
Oh, 100%.
Whether you're a junior coder trying to pick your first stack, or a seasoned freelancer wondering if your skills are basically depreciating, you just can't afford to misinterpret this bifurcation.
Right, because the data shows this long, steady, upward trend in WordPress's overall presence over the past decade. Like, it just keeps climbing.
It never really stopped.
No, it didn't. But when you dig into the actual mechanics of that growth, it's largely driven by non-developer kind of no-code style usage.
Yeah, that's the key right there.
We're seeing managed, hosted setups, sophisticated visual page builders, these drag-and-drop interfaces. That is what's driving the numbers today.
Right. It's not being driven by developer-led custom builds anymore.
Exactly. And that shift, it doesn't just change the macro statistics, right? It violently disrupts your Tuesday morning workflow.
Oh, completely.
Because when developers are actually put in charge of leading new projects today, they're increasingly defaulting to like React-based frameworks, right? Headless CMS setups or enterprise-grade visual builders.
They are actively choosing not to do classic WordPress builds.
Yeah, they're stepping away from it. Let's frame it like commercial real estate, okay?
Okay, I like that.
So visual page builders are like these modular prefab pop-up shops. They're fast, they're cheap, they're cookie cutter. They allow business owners to literally get a storefront up in a weekend.
Right, you just drop it in and you're done.
Exactly. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have modern React apps and headless setups. These are the custom-built glass and steel high-rises. They're engineered for massive scale, specific performance metrics, all that.
The heavy-duty stuff.
Right. So the classic WordPress theme developer is effectively like a highly skilled bricklayer.
A bricklayer in a world that only wants either instant prefab pop-ups or massive skyscrapers.
Precisely. The market for store owners needing pop-ups is absolutely exploding. But the market for someone who, hand codes custom PHP templates from scratch to build a mid-sized brick building,
it's vanishing.
It is fundamentally evaporating.
I'll actually push that further because, well, if the store owners don't need the bricklayer anymore, because the pop-up shop is now just this sealed, hosted box that updates itself with a click, is the quote-unquote WordPress developer role actually a shrinking job category, even while the platform itself grows?
That's the paradox.
Exactly. Like, if the tooling is so incredibly capable that the end user basically bypasses custom code entirely to achieve their goals, the job isn't just evolving. For many traditional use cases, it's just being erased.
Yeah, it's gone. And this question of a shrinking job category, it leads directly into what a WordPress developer actually does in 2026.
Right. What's the day-to-day actually look like now?
Well, it forces this really harsh comparison between legacy expectations and the current reality. And I can speak to this from over a decade of real lived experience in the trenches.
You built a lot of these.
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
I have built custom WordPress solutions from the ground up, themes from scratch, heavily relying on advanced custom fields to drive really complex data structures, mapping out intricate custom post types.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, across freelance work, full-time agency work, dedicated product teams, I know what the gold standard of that day-to-day used to look like.
Right, and those were the projects where you controlled every single pixel. Like every single database query was yours.
Exactly. And there is this massive chasm between a basic brochure site built with a page builder and a genuinely complex application like build on WordPress.
Oh, night and day difference.
Completely. For example, a few years ago, I architected this massive recruiting and profile platform on WordPress.
Wait, really? A recruiting platform?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are talking dynamic filtering, multi-tiered user dashboards, incredibly complex relational database queries running under the hood just to match candidates with roles.
Wow.
It wasn't just, an easy CMS for a marketing team to post blogs. It was a robust, heavily customized web application.
Right.
It proved the platform has the underlying architecture to stretch way, way beyond a blog.
Well, I mean, the platform's capacity isn't really the issue here. Right?
What do you mean?
I mean, the architecture can clearly handle complex relational data if you force it to. The fundamental friction is whether you should force it to in 2026, given the alternatives that are available now.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. And having spent the last few years deep in the Shopify ecosystem as well, I have this comparative vantage point that kind of strips away a lot of the platform tribalism.
Yeah, you've seen both sides.
Exactly. And my honest take is that WordPress isn't going away. Not even close.
Right.
But the nature of the work has decisively shifted. I mean, there is virtually zero demand today for build me a custom theme from scratch.
Nobody's asking for that.
No. But there is massive demand for implement this within my existing ecosystem, integrate these APIs and maintain the data flow.
Right. It's all about connecting the dots.
You are plugging things together. You are writing the middleware to make a bespoke CRM talk to a WooCommerce checkout via REST APIs.
It's the transition from being a primary builder to being a systems integrator.
Yes. And my actionable advice to you listening right now, if you are gripping tightly to those legacy theme building skills, is to just let go and embrace the integration workflow.
Just lean into it.
Being ruthlessly honest with yourself about this shift is infinitely better than defending outdated methods. I mean, stop trying to sell a client on a from-scratch PHP theme when a visual builder paired with a custom API integration solves their core business problem in half the time and a fraction of the budget.
Right. But I mean, this shift to being an integrator, it doesn't just change your title. It completely alters the cognitive load of your daily work.
Oh, the workflow is totally different.
Yeah. Let's look at the practical friction of a headless WordPress build, which is incredibly common now, versus the classic monolithic setup.
Okay, let's break that down.
So in a monolith, you had tightly coupled concerns. You were writing PHP to render HTML, maybe sprinkling in some jQuery here and there.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you rip the front end off WordPress to go headless,
Yeah.
using it purely as a content repository, while rendering the user interface in a React framework, you inherit this massive architectural burden.
Oh, it's a huge headache. You suddenly have to explain to a client why their beloved WordPress preview button no longer works out of the box.
Exactly.
And you're like, well, we have to set up a complex GraphQL webhook and a staging server just for previews.
Right. You have to balance maintaining that legacy PHP environment on the back end, ensuring that content editors still have a seamless, intuitive experience, while simultaneously managing state, routing, and hijinction on the front end using JavaScript.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is. You're straddling two completely different paradigms. It requires a dual mindset that the classic monolithic developer of 2015 just never had to worry about.
Yeah.
You're essentially maintaining two separate applications just to serve one website.
Which inherently changes the security realities, too. I mean, if you look at the vulnerability data, a massive majority of WordPress security breaches are attributed to third-party plugins, not the core software itself.
Oh, absolutely. The core is rock solid.
Yeah. The WordPress core team takes security incredibly seriously. It's very solid. But when your entire job has shifted to integration, when your main task is evaluating and plugging together 20 different third-party tools to make a headless build or a complex WooCommerce site function well, security auditing suddenly becomes your primary coding task.
Right. You aren't writing the vulnerability, you're installing it.
That is the exact reality. You have to know how to evaluate the code quality, the database query efficiency, the update frequency of a plugin developer you've never even met before you deploy their code to a client's production server.
Yeah, it's all on you.
Because if you don't know how to read PHP and spot an unescaped database call in a random slider plugin, your client is the one who pays the price.
And this heavy reliance on third-party integrations often leads outsiders to assume the core platform is stagnating, which I think is a dangerous miscalculation.
Completely dangerous. I mean, look at WordPress 7.0, codenamed Armstrong, which dropped in 2026.
Right, huge update.
It proves the core platform is still aggressively developed. They're pushing forward with deeper collaborative editing, massive performance overhauls, better native API support. This is not abandoned software lingering on legacy servers.
No, the core is absolutely alive. But let me introduce the real existential friction here.
Okay, bring it on.
Because we cannot discuss the future of integration work without confronting the AI-driven automation economy.
Ah, the AI factor.
Right. We were talking about the daily grind of writing boilerplate code to connect a plugin to a theme, or, writing a quick Python script to migrate messy database tables.
Stuff we do all the time.
Yeah, but AI agents are currently parsing incompatible API payloads, mapping the JSON to WordPress custom fields, and generating the sanitization logic in seconds.
It's crazy fast.
It is. So if the integrator's main value is writing the glue code, well, AI is becoming exceptionally good at generating glue.
See, I see the AI factor completely differently.
Really? How so?
I think AI-assisted coding makes custom WordPress work significantly more viable, specifically for smaller teams and solo freelancers.
More viable. How do you figure?
Well, think about the bottleneck of complex integrations, right? If I need to write a custom WordPress plugin to bridge a legacy inventory system with WooCommerce, the AI speeds up the boilerplate generation, the scaffolding, the basic CRU'd operations so much that I can take on enterprise-level complexity without needing to hire a team of junior developers.
I see where you're going with this.
It gives the solo developer the output capacity of a micro-agency.
Okay, that is true, but, and it's big, but until you look at the trajectory of the end-user tools.
What do you mean?
If the AI can eventually perfectly bridge that gap itself, like if a business owner can simply prompt their hosting dashboard to, quote, connect my inventory system to my store and handle the data mapping, does the client even need you to prompt the AI?
Right.
If the AI becomes the actual integrator, the solo freelancer gets squeezed out just as fast as the junior developer.
Okay, that brings us to the ultimate dilemma for the listener then.
Exactly.
With AI automating the boilerplate and React frameworks dominating the high-end custom builds, where do you actually invest your hours? Like, where do you place your bets?
I think we need to challenge the very framing of this deep dive.
Oh, really? We're challenging the whole premise now.
Yes. Asking, is WordPress still relevant? Is the wrong question entirely. Relevance is completely contextual. It depends on who you are and what game you are playing.
Okay, let's tailor this specifically then for a junior developer sitting at their desk right now, deciding between ecosystems.
Perfect example.
They are looking at the 42% overall market share. They are looking at the massive footprint in the CMS space. And they are understandably thinking, man, that's an ocean of jobs.
It's an ocean of jobs, sure, but what kind of jobs?
Right.
If you were a junior developer starting from absolute zero today, and your goal is to get hired at a modern product company, like a tech startup, a SaaS platform, a large-scale digital product team, a long-term specialization in WordPress is a very risky bet.
Yeah, they're not really hiring for that.
No, those companies are building their products in React, Vue, or Next.js. They are heavily utilizing full-stack JavaScript.
Yep.
They might use a headless WordPress CMS for their marketing blog, sure, but they aren't hiring WordPress developers. They're hiring front-end engineers.
Right.
So for that specific career path, going full-stack generalist or specializing deeply in modern JavaScript offers drastically better long-term job stability and compensation.
I hear the logic. I really do. But I have to fiercely defend the other side of this equation.
Go for it.
Because WordPress is still incredibly relevant and absolutely worth knowing if you want client and freelance flexibility.
Okay. Okay.
Choosing WordPress today means choosing to be a digital plumber for the messy reality of small and medium businesses rather than an architect in a pristine sauce tower.
A digital plumber.
Yeah. And let me tell you, plumbing pays incredibly well.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Local businesses, medium-sized agencies, e-commerce merchants, they have messy, complicated, real-world businesses that simply do not fit perfectly into a sealed monthly subscription sauce box.
They always need custom tweaks.
Exactly. They will always need someone who can go into an existing 10-year-old WordPress install, safely update it without breaking the database,
Yeah.
build a custom post type for a new product line, and hook it up to some obscure inventory API.
The work definitely exists. I'm not denying that. The friction is whether it's the right place to anchor a brand new career.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because you are advocating for a career built on maintenance, legacy integration, and technical debt collection. I mean, it's true. I'm pointing out where the actual growth and innovation are happening in software engineering.
Yeah, but maintenance of 40% of the web is a multi-billion-dollar economy.
Oh, sure.
Being the person who can reliably solve revenue blocking problems for a business owner on the platform they already heavily rely on, I mean, that provides unparalleled freelance agility.
Right.
I personally know agencies making millions purely on rescuing botched page builder sites, optimizing their core web vitals, and writing custom API integrations for WooCommerce. It is a massive, lucrative market.
Look, there is undeniable money in the messy reality of the web. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
But by choosing that path today, you are essentially advising a developer to become a high-end mechanic for a massive fleet of aging vehicles rather than, designing the electric engines of tomorrow.
That's a good analogy.
It's a choice between two entirely different daily realities. They have completely different ceilings and different stress profiles.
And honestly, that gap in our perspectives, like that unresolved debate right there, is the most honest reflection of the industry right now.
I agree completely.
We both agree on one fundamental truth. WordPress isn't dying.
No, it's definitely not.
Between its massive market share, the release of 7.0 Armstrong proving ongoing core development, and just the sheer momentum of its ecosystem, it isn't going anywhere.
It is absolutely not dying. But its relevance has fundamentally fractured compared to 10 years ago.
Fractured is a great word for it.
It is no longer the default automatic answer for every single web problem.
Right. So for you, listening to this deep dive, you really have to internalize that the WordPress developer label is a totally different job today than it was in the past.
Completely different.
Deciding to pursue it means explicitly choosing between the freelance agility of being a master integrator and problem solver for small businesses versus the stability of joining a modern product company that builds entirely outside that ecosystem.
Right. You have to know what game you are playing, and you have to play it intentionally.
Exactly. Choose your path wisely.
And, as you map out your next career move and decide where to actually invest your learning hours, I want to leave you with one final thought to sort of mull over.
All right. What's up?
We talked about visual builders allowing non-coders to spin up sites, right? And we talked about AI writing the boilerplate custom code for developers to integrate systems.
Yeah.
But as AI models continue to improve their contextual reasoning and code generation, eventually they're going to perfectly bridge the gap between those no-code visual interfaces and the complex custom code integrations.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. So when that inevitable convergence happens, will the web of the future even distinguish between a WordPress developer and a WordPress user?